This conference will now be recorded.
By the United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
First item on our agenda this morning is an Iotron bond ordinance approval. We had a little bit of discussion in our last meeting on this.
Which is what they'll be over
But
here momentarily.
They're on their way. Should we skip to the second item?
You can, yeah.
Do we have Mary Hartman from Peabody Library on with us this morning? That's okay. Do we have that? Do we have the? So the Columbia City's Peabody Public Library sent us some information, I think maybe late April, where basically they're asking for us to be an added layer. It's a declaration of fiscal body. I believe this is similar to what we've done with the South Whitley Library, where when they make fiscal decisions, they bring those to council for approval. After their board approves, then it would come to us and they would. I'm not certain if when or if we signed a declaration. Right, yeah.
That was for some kind of, that was for a big expenditure, but that's the first I ever knew we could look at the library budget, do anything with the library budget. We could look at them, but.
I don't think that we still can do anything with their budget. Their board still controls
I
that.
don't know. It depends, I guess, on how you interpret that.
Does this have to do with which fiscal body they approach with it being in the town limits? Did they make a decision on it? Is that what it's about?
I'm not exactly sure, John. Do we think we could get Mary?
We sent her all the information. She said she was going to call on, but.
So Mary was going to join us. Unfortunately, she's not with us yet. Maybe we could table it and move on to
the declaration. It's not necessary to be filed until October 1st. So if we have time
right,
to
we
give
have
an explanation.
Yep, we have plenty of time. Well, we could always skip back then. EDC is now here, so we could skip back and go over the Iotron bond ordinance. Good morning.
Good morning. We had a nice meeting, considering it's been a while since we met before, and the new guy wasn't exactly sure how it worked. But good morning, Dale Booth, with the EDC. You just met on the Iotron bond, which I believe most of you are aware of, but Iotron is doing their expansion, and we are doing a $737,000 bond that they will then buy. And so that has come out of redevelopment, as a redevelopment authority has signed off on that. And so then it's gone to the commission, which just met, and we have our resolution, which is 2020-01, that they have signed off and approved that amount, the $737,000, and all the according paperwork and whatnot. The Baker Tilly is handling the actual the paperwork and the issuance. So we want to bring that to you today, and I'm stumbling because I'm not exactly sure procedurally as far as a vote or a resolution.
I think at our last council meeting, I think we kind of give this a straw vote. If I remember right. We was going to approve it, and now it's here today for approval. So,
So I'm requesting approval as they've started to break ground, and we'd like to issue, I think planning would issue a permit in the next day or two. And so this will help greatly with the moving forward of the expansion, allows their not only footprint to increase by some 30 or 4,000 square feet, and then there will be additional staff, not a lot, but certainly makes them a premier sterilization facility in the Midwest.
I think we're the only thing they've got out of Canada, right?
Correct.
And they've been, I don't know how long they've been there. We have a resolution that we need to approve?
We do. We have a resolution number 2020-05. It's an ordinance, not a resolution. I'm sorry, an ordinance.
I make a motion that we approve the 2020-5 ordinance for Iotron's bond.
I'll second that.
I have a motion and a second. Any further discussion? Hearing none, I'll call for a vote. All those in favor of approval of ordinance 2020-05, please signify by raising your right hand. And oppose the same, and it's unanimous.
I think I just need your signature.
They all have abatements. You got
Do
abatements.
you have an abatements requests as well for us today?
I'll have the abatements.
You got them.
Yeah.
All right,
All right,
thank
thank
you.
Dick.
Do we have Mary Hartman with us yet? How about Paula Worden?
I am here. Can you hear me?
I can. Good morning.
Good morning. Do you have any questions, just follow-up questions regarding the budget request that was discussed last month?
Can you just recap the request?
Yes, absolutely. I'm just asking support either from county general or the jail income tax. Obviously, we lost all of our income through user fees at the end of March through May. We did begin to return individuals to residential work release May 21st and 22nd. As we expected, several of them were struggling with their addictions, and some of them were returned to jail. As of right now, we will be at 28 on Friday in residential work release. Our capacity to meet our budget needs to be at 80, and I'm not sure when we'll get there.
Have you accounted for all of them? They're either back or in jail, or still some of them free?
They're all accounted for. A lot of them did remain on home detention, and our home detention staff's doing excellent with that. We have 44 on home detention. Everyone did report back on furlough. There were 22. One did have a warrant, but she did appear on site on the day she was supposed to return, and we just directed her to the Whately County Jail at that time. So everyone is accounted for, but some of them were not allowed to stay here because of their drug screens.
So the request is for 200,000 additional appropriation.
Do we have that in users or in the safety tax line item?
It can be used for that, yes.
Is there enough in there to do it?
What is the balance of that account, please? And what's the official name of that account?
Well, jail
Like
tax.
correctional facility.
It's called Lit Correctional / Rehab Facilities, and there is $597,815.46 in there for the cash balance.
Say that number one more time, please.
$597,815.46.
And this is separate from the new tax that we passed, or if this is the.
This is
This
as a tax.
Okay.
But
I have a question, and I'm not up to date on it. So when somebody goes back to that facility, they're paying rent for that room? Is that how, that's why Paula's falling behind? Or not falling behind, that's why she doesn't have the money, because there's not enough people there to support that salaries, I guess? Is that the way it works? Okay. So when she gets everybody back in there, she's gonna be set and ready to go. Is that right, Paula?
Yes,
number
that's
Go
right.
ahead.
And we've just been following really the governor's guidelines. Obviously we've had to put additional practices in place with COVID. Right now we have 2 to a room, where before we would have 4 to a room, but we also need to allow for space to quarantine individuals should they return to the facility with a fever of a 100.4 or greater. So I believe this is going to be a long-term change. I'm not sure what our capacity will look like. I'm hoping during budget hearings we can really spend some time and you can give me some direction of, what you foresee the future to be for this facility with COVID until we have some type of vaccination. Because I know if there's a positive case, that is a liability to the county.
So we do have a request for an additional appropriation. Is there any further discussion?
Well, I'd like to see it come out of that particular fund, whatever it's called.
I'd make a motion that we approve the $200,000 appropriation out of the lit line item or the fund to help support this, the work release facility until we get back to whatever the new normal is going to be.
Second.
I have a motion and a second. Any further discussion? I'll call for a vote. All those in favor of approval, please signify by raising your right hand. And opposed the same, and that passes 7-0. Paula, is there anything else?
No, I will continue to provide you with monthly reports, and if there's specific information you would like me to report on, please let me know.
Yep, that sounds great. Thank you.
All right, thank you.
Next up, do we still not have Mary Hartman on with us? So next up, we'll just move on to abatements.
Okay. So as you know, they're once a year and the chairman gets to sign all of them. So as far as I know, everything looks good. I believe we got everyone's. This is all the real and the personal property abatements. I wish I could send all these out so you guys could look at them, but there's obviously just way too many for all the businesses in the county, so.
Right.
Is there any of them on there that hasn't fulfilled their
Not that I'm aware of.
hiring or anything like that?
I think they're all good.
I would make a motion that we give the chair the authority to review and sign all these documents on the council's behalf.
I have a motion and a second. All those in favor? Opposed the same? And that passes. It's exciting.
I guess I'll see you in a little bit.
Commissioner report.
Okay, got quite a few things here. The first thing I have is we approved our highway bid awards for the grant that we got for highway, they came in lower than what we expected, which was good. And that's for paving, additional paving. We paid 20%. The state gave us $980,000 as a grant. And Brandon has got the plan set up. If you'd like to see that, we have that in the office. So he's going to be busy. We did get our new front end loader. Tom got to drive it a little bit, and it's should be a great addition for us. That old one was almost 30 some years old. So that's been an issue for us that we took care of. Cybersecurity agreement. We got a cybersecurity agreement with the state. They have a new system called FireEye that they actually require us to work with them on that, but we got that agreement set in place. We've been working with our IT people, Preferred IT. We met this week with our insurance people, health insurance people. That time is coming up again. It looks like we're going to have a 1.9% increase for the year. Our people have been doing real well. And again, I have all the information on that. It's a booklet and it has all the information. Administrative fees have gone up right around 1%. But everything looks real good with our insurance. We compared it to 12 different companies with this, and they're all laid out here for you if you'd like to see that also. But our people are doing real well with the wellness campaigns, and average age that we have right now is 37.4, so that helps us. And but glad to hear it was only, I don't like to see a raise, but 1.9 is not bad compared to some of them that we've had before. And I think that's, we are working with Mr. Armstrong on the contract for the land out at off of Connection Way there. The terms are that it would be a 3-year contract, $100,000 for 3 years. So we'll be bringing that to the council also to make sure that everything is approved by council before we do anything. And
just a quick question on that, George, just
yes.
to confirm that the plan is that would come out of the same lit for correction,
right,
rehab facilities, right? Okay.
I think that's all I have. Does anybody have any questions about anything?
The highway department, those bid awards, his budget may have taken a little bit of a hit from the gas tax.
I think
is he
total,
covered?
he's covered. He's got it figured out. About 15.7% is what we're going to lose. But in reserves, we had more reserves than we did what we're going to take a hit. And I don't have the numbers with me right now, but Brandon gave us the numbers on that. And the good news is he had reserves to take care of what we're going to be short.
Good.
So he hasn't got any plans to pull back on anything at this point. As long as things get back to normal or whatever normal is.
Yep. Okay, thank you. The next item on my agenda is meeting minutes from May. Has everyone had a chance to review those? The meeting minutes from May?
Make a motion to accept the minutes as presented.
I have a motion and a second to approve the May 5th, 2020 meeting minutes as presented. All those in favor, please signify by raising your right hand, and opposed the same. And I'll check one more time. Is Mary Hartman with us from Peabody Library? I'll follow up with her maybe later today. Is there anything that anyone else would like to add? Councilman Barrett?
In watching the news, the governor has imposed a 15% reduction in the budget of the state. Have we given any thought to a similar situation to our department heads and elected officials to look into this?
Well, I know we've had discussion. We had discussion, I believe, in the May meeting about how we move forward. And, you know, there's a thought that right now we're really not in a budget crisis, but it could potentially become a budget crisis in 2020. I did hear that we collected 91% of property taxes, which is great because that deadline hasn't even come yet. When the governor extended, I believe that sent it out to July 1st. And so it looks like we're really on track to collect property taxes.
Yeah, I think that's about where we normally are, around 90%.
And then of course, I know we're taking a hit on our income tax.
Any of the low.
Right.
And I just, if you don't mind, I do have some additional info. for
Yeah,
you
please.
guys. I have just for county general, I have the May 31st balances of 19, and then compared to this year, there's one of those each for paper clip for each of you. And then I also have the amount we actually received in the supplemental certificate of local income tax distributions. That's additional that we received. We received an additional $431,816 for county general for certified shares, $178,459 for public safety, and then an additional $129,234 for CDIT. So those are all one for each of you as well. And then the AIC actually collected information from all the counties and put together a report, and I sent it out to all of us auditors. They gave us like the total taxes charged, delinquent taxes, TIF charged. So our spring collection was $15,875,372.98. They had, since then we went up obviously, but they had 88% collected so far, where I think 92%, I talked to Laura last week. So far, I think our 2019 spring collection was $19,635,000. So it's about a roughly $3.5–4 million difference. So compared to 2019, they said percent-wise, we're at 80.85%. So that's just more information they'd put together, all the counties. I can forward that to you guys so you can see how other counties are doing and look at ours. But I just wanted to give you guys this information so you had it. Anything I can do to help.
So the reality is that the impact we're going to feel is as we prepare the next year's budget.
I believe that's the case. I believe that we're not going to feel it in 2020, but I believe that we really need to be prepared for our budget cycle for 2021.
And I think it would be valuable for us to communicate to our department heads that we will look very favorably on encumbrances of money they don't spend this year to move into next year. Anything they can save now will be available for us to spend or for them to spend next year.
John, does that answer your question? I mean, I think we're doing the right thing. I think we're keeping a close eye on it. We're watching. We'll continue the discussion, but I don't feel that there's any action needed at this time.
As we go into our 2021 budget cycle, that's when we will need to think of what to do.
Right.
And Janet, correct me if I'm wrong, but in June is when we start to get the estimates from the state for preparing.
Yeah, I believe they give an estimate for the local income taxes in June, and then I believe they certify and give the final numbers in October. So usually that's typically, which may be pushed back this year with everything going on, but.
We're gonna get department budget requests in July.
You'll get your books at your July meeting.
I do think it is important to remember that some projects will only get more expensive if we put them off. So, anything to do with construction, if they want our approval, even though it's in their budget, we need to look favorably on those kind of things now because they'll be up 10, 12% at least next year.
And it's been pretty quiet. I know that council has required that department heads before major purchases come back for approval. We haven't heard from anyone. So I think people are probably being frugal. They're probably aware of the situation. I think our department heads are responsible and if there is a major expense that's needed, I'm confident they'll come to us and they'll ask. And we can review at that time. Tim, did you have anything else?
No, that's all.
Is there anything from the audience, from the general public? Well, with that, I'll adjourn the meeting. Thank you for coming.